Guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the Footy Social Club. If you are new around here, it's match week 2 in the Champions League. Bumper fixtures such as Barcelona versus PSG this week as well. We're going to take you through all of my predictions. Don't forget to get yourselves in the comments. Let me know how you think each game's going to go. Drop a like on this video if you haven't done so already. And as I said, if you're new around here, make sure you're subscribing to the Footy Social Club. Can I ask a huge favour as well? On screen, you will see that the Footy Social Club has been nominated for Best New Content Creator. I really need your help. At the end of the show, you will see a QR code appear on screen. If you could scan that, select the Best New Content Creator and select the Footy Social Club. The awards are being held in November at Elland Road. Can't wait to attend it. We've never been nominated before, but it would be amazing if you guys could take 10 seconds to give us a hand and submit your vote for the Footy Social Club. Thank you very much for all of those that have done so already and for your continued support. Right, without further ado, let's get into it. And up first, we've got Arsenal versus Olympiakos. Arsenal don't necessarily have the best record against Olympiakos in European football. They lost at home the last time they faced the Greek club, but they have won in Greece as well, 3-1. But look, I don't think that at this stage in the Champions League, this one is going to be too difficult for Arsenal. They'll be buoyed by the fact that they beat Newcastle in the Premier League, and this is a home fixture for Arsenal. No need to travel. Arteta has the option, I believe, to rotate his squad here as well. For Forest owner and Olympiakos owner Marinakis, gives him an opportunity to visit the Emirates, this time supporting his Greek club. They sit top of the Super League themselves, joint top with AEK Athens on 13 points, winning 4, drawing 1. They drew their first game in the Champions League as well. 78% chance if you fancy Arsenal to win this one at home. That's where I believe the money's going to go. If you fancy Olympiakos to do what they did the last time they met Arsenal at the Emirates, there's a 7% chance for Olympiakos to do that. I am going to go with Arsenal 2, Olympiakos 1. Up next, we've got Bodø Glimt versus Tottenham Hotspur. These two are quite familiar to each other, having played each other in last season's Europa League in the semi-final. Obviously, Tottenham went on to win that, went on to lift the Europa League under Ange Postecoglou. Spurs won this fixture 2-0 the last time they met. Bodø Glimt drew their opening game. Spurs won their opening game against Villarreal, and they're probably, not as heavy favourites as I was expecting. 45% chance if you fancy Spurs to go to the Arctic Circle and win. There's a big leveller in this game, though, for Bodø Glimt. The fact that this is on a plastic pitch, the fact that Bodø Glimt are a little further into their season than Spurs as well. But I do believe that Spurs, the quality that they have in their squad, should have too much for Bodø in this competition. I expect Spurs to go on and probably do the same, in all honesty, and beat Bodø. But I'm going to go with Bodø 0, Tottenham 3. Up next, we've got Chelsea versus Benfica. The return of Jose Mourinho to Stamford Bridge, and we've seen it all before. We know that he loves Chelsea. We know what he won with Chelsea. He still tells everyone about the 3 Premier League titles that he won with the club. But he'll very much want to get a result for his new club, Benfica, a club he managed more than 20 years ago, this coming week. He'll want nothing more than to put more pressure on Enzo Maresca. And Chelsea need to start and get results. They lost last time out against Bayern Munich away from home in the Champions League. Benfica lost themselves in the Champions League. Teams sitting 28th and 24th respectively. Chelsea have won all of their last 3 meetings against the Portuguese giants. I think it's an easier game for Chelsea given that this one is at Stamford Bridge. They'll need to stop getting players sent off if they want to win games. Chalobah sent off at the weekend. Robert Sanchez sent off as well last week. They're making things difficult for themselves. If Chelsea keep dropping points, the pressure is going to be hyped up onto Enzo Maresca, and it wouldn't surprise me if the board were to change manager, given how much money they've pumped into the club. But has Jose Mourinho still got that magic touch? I'm not so sure anymore. He's not the manager he once was, sacked recently by Fenerbahce. He'll be looking, as I said, to get Benfica up and running. However, I am going with Chelsea 1, Benfica 1. Up next, we have got Galatasaray versus Liverpool. Regardless of the fact that Galatasaray lost in the opening week of the Champions League, this is not an easy fixture for Liverpool. English clubs in general, when visiting Turkey, don't have the best of luck. In all honesty, Galatasaray beat Liverpool the last time they met them in Turkey 3-2. It's so hard. The atmosphere, it is intimidating. It will be loud. It will be boisterous. I hope we don't see violence, but there's every chance of it, I believe, in this fixture. Liverpool won their opening game, beating Atletico Madrid at Liverpool very, very late on as well. And if you fancy Liverpool to win this one, there's a 58% chance for Arne Slot's team to win. They'll be looking to bounce back following the late drama against Crystal Palace, where they lost their first league game of the season at the weekend. I think this one's tough to call. Really tough to call. Would love to know your thoughts down in the comments. I am going to go with, though, Liverpool to get the win 2-1. Up next, Monaco versus Manchester City. Manchester City had it pretty good the last time out in match week 1 in the Champions League, playing against a 10-man Napoli for large periods of the game. They're starting to get themselves motoring now, both in the Premier League as well, scoring 5 against Burnley at the weekend. They'll be looking to take that new form that they're forging under Pep Guardiola into the Champions League, keep building momentum, get themselves into the top 8. There's a 65% chance that Manchester City will win this game on Tuesday night against Monaco. I think they'll have too much, if I'm honest, for them. The French side are good. They've got some good players, but City are by far a level above them. The last time these two teams met, Monaco did win that one 3-1. City winning the return at the Etihad 5-3. Expect goals, expect action, but expect Manchester City to win this one 3-1. Up next, we've got Union SG against Newcastle. Newcastle will be looking to target 3 points in match week 2 in the Champions League following their opening game loss to Barcelona at St James's Park. They lost in game week 6 against Arsenal as well in the Premier League 2-1, but Eddie Howe was already tinkering with his team. Maybe he had thoughts ahead of the Union SG game. They won themselves in match week 1. Newcastle deemed favourites, a 45% chance for the Geordies to win this game away from home. If you fancy Union SG, it's 29% for them to continue their great start to life in the Champions League. I think that Newcastle have too much. I fancy Voltemada to score in this one. And look, if Newcastle want to get themselves in and around the top 8, these are games they simply have to win. I am going to go with Union SG 0, Newcastle 2. Right, let's go on to the other games in the Champions League. Remember, we are predominantly a Premier League channel. However, I will give you my predictions for all of the other games in the Champions League this week. On Tuesday, Atalanta to beat Club Brugge 2-1. Kairat Almaty, I think they'll be the whipping boys of the Champions League. I expect Real Madrid to get back to winning ways. They'll win this one 3-0. Atletico Madrid at home. Look, they were nearly back in it against Liverpool. They got back to 2-2 before losing late on. I think they'll beat Eintracht Frankfurt 2-0 in Madrid. Inter Milan, I expect them to win 3-1 at home against Slavia Prague. Remember, they were Champions League finalists last year. Marseille, very nearly against Madrid in game week 1. I expect them to draw 2-2 at home to Ajax. Maybe I'm being a little unkind to the French Giants, but just maybe a draw for Ajax there. Pafos to get whipped by Bayern Munich 4-0. They were very impressive against Chelsea in game week 1. Expect Harry Kane to score goals there. On Wednesday, Qarabağ to draw at home 1-1 against FC Copenhagen. Barcelona, PSG. This fixture just comes a little too early for me in the Champions League. They'll draw 2-2, I believe. Leverkusen, life without Erik ten Hag. I think they'll beat PSV 2-1. Borussia Dortmund to win at home 3-2 against Athletic Club or Athletic Bilbao, depending on how you follow Spanish football. They lost at home to Arsenal. Borussia Dortmund played out a thrilling 4-4 draw against Juventus in match week 1. Napoli, I think they'll beat Sporting Lisbon at home 2-0. There's just no chance for me that Antonio Conte's side lose at home in the Champions League. And Villarreal to draw 1-1 with Juventus is the final prediction for this week. Guys, do me a huge favour, smash a like on this video if you haven't done so already. Make sure you get your comments down in the chat and subscribe to the Footy Social Club for all your Premier League predictions, all your Champions League and Premier League reaction, live watch-alongs as well. Look forward to seeing you on the next one.